Hey, hello, it's me, John Mack here. I recently lost 120 pounds. I want to share with you 3 simple steps that you can take in order to jumpstart your weight loss journey.
Girl, I know you wanna. She's a spice, right?
In this video, we'll be talking about diet and nutrition, which can be a trigger for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Now, I want to give you a little bit of backstory on how I got to the weight that I was. As a child, I played sports. I always had a growing appetite, some people would say. So being a little bit heavier in middle school and high school, it was just normal for me. And as I got older and as I came to college, carrying around the extra weight became detrimental to my health. I'm a diagnosed asthmatic, and so carrying around that extra just baggage was really difficult on my lungs, and it was difficult to just breathe and function normally. I couldn't just run when I wanted to run without making sure I had my inhaler. Like I didn't run out of breath. You know, I was heavy. At my heaviest, I weighed almost 300 pounds. Right now, I've been maintaining about 170 pounds. And so here are the simple steps that I took in order to get to this milestone. So step number one, I had to come to a realization. When my clothes stopped fitting, I constantly needed more and more food to feel full. I had to realize that something was going on. It wasn't just the food changing. Um, it was the same calories, the same items, but my appetite and my unawareness of the effect that my diet was having on my body is what led to my third realization, which was my health complications. I had to realize that I wasn't just getting out of breath from the atmosphere. It was due to my choices in my eating habits and my exercise habits. At my heaviest, I was not exercising consistently. I would just go to school, come on, and essentially just not really have any consciousness over my health or my diet. And so after I came to those realizations, I had to begin to make changes and make goals. Firstly, by making the goals, I had to decide where I wanted to go with my body and where I wanted my body to be. Um, Close to 300 pounds was not where I was happy with my body. I didn't feel comfortable in my skin. At the time, I didn't realize that's what it was, but in being this way, I realized that I'm a lot more confident and a lot more comfortable in who I am. The first change I had to make was becoming calorie conscious. Being that I don't mean being vain and counting calories just anally, I didn't do that personally. Um, but becoming aware of how many calories, just in a round amount, that you're consuming a day. Um, in my experience, a lot of my calories when I was heavier came from just sodas and beverages. I drink a lot of soda, and soda is just strictly, sugar. So calories like that could easily pile up on top of the food that you actually consume, on top of the little desserts and snacks that you may sneak and eat. I didn't mean it like that. Becoming calorie conscious can help you take control of your weight loss journey. By knowing how many calories around about you're consuming, you'll have a better idea of what changes you need to make. Um, in order to maintain a weight of 170 pounds, which I've been doing, I need to consume around 2,500 calories per day. I live a fairly active-ish lifestyle, so that figure can change depending on your height, your weight, and also your activity level, your age, various factors. You just have to find the ideal calories for your body. Um, the second change that I made was I stopped eating red meats. I don't eat beef. I don't eat pork. I really don't eat any red meat. The only meat I eat is just chicken and lamb, which can be considered red meat, but I don't really eat beef or pork for sure. Um, and I also eat turkey. Just cutting out those red meats also aids in becoming a calorie conscious. Red meats are higher in calories traditionally just because of the makeup and the fat percentages that are carried in animals such as pigs and cows. So after I cut out red meats, I began to also limit my bread and sugar intake. So this was really difficult for me because I do love a snack. I love sandwiches and I love sweets. So going straight to my root issue allowed me to see changes quicker. I knew that I had a difficulty with bread and sugar. So if I limited my intake of bread and sugar, I knew that I could see results faster. And this may be the same in your cases if bread and sugar are things that um, you struggle with. Bread and sugar in the body may metabolize differently than meats or other simple carbs. In becoming calorie conscious, I practice portion controls. Traditionally, I didn't have an idea of what portion controls were. As I began to research health and nutrition, I found more of guidelines that helped guide me onto what a healthy portion was in order to stay under my caloric goal of 2,500 calories. In the beginning, I did something called intermittent fasting, which is where you eat in a time window during a day. That could also help with your calorie consumption and as well as your calorie consciousness. Because if you're only eating for certain hours of a day, you'll make sure to get your calories in, or you'll be like not functioning. So make sure that you're just getting your calories required for the day, not going under, not going over. Because if you go over, you gain weight. If you go too far under the ideal amount, that won't be good either. That's when you become malnourished. Think about malnutrition, being malnourished. Um, you just swing in weights. You go from one end to the other of the spectrum. So you want to make sure that you have that equilibrium. One thing that helped me with portion controls was begin eating from a smaller plate. When you have a much larger plate, you feel pressure to pile more food on it, and therefore you have more calories consumed. And so when I began eating from smaller plates, the weight naturally went off because there wasn't as much food on the plate than traditionally there would have been. And so just from that, organically, I saw my weight begin to, fall in line. And so my third step in my journey was seeing progress and maintaining that. And seeing my progress, my clothes began to fit loose. They went from being too tight to being too big. I had to go shopping probably 3 to 4 times throughout my journey. About every 25 pounds, it would be a time for some more clothes. I like to shop, so maybe you can shop at different increments, but be prepared to shop if you're losing over 100 pounds like I did. And as your clothes begin to fit looser and you notice the changes, eventually you'll hear other people begin to compliment or comment on the changes in your physical appearance. In order to maintain your progress, you want to keep in mind your goal. Why are you doing this? Why are you dedicated to losing this weight? Why are you putting yourself through this? Stay dedicated to your goal in order to keep that motivation and keep going and keep striving towards it. But yeah, those were the 3 primary steps in my weight loss journey. Step 1 was coming to the realization that I needed to lose weight, be it for your health or be it for personal reasons. Step 2 was to make goals and make changes in order to achieve that realization that you've come to. And step 3 is going to be seeing your progress and maintaining it.
Yeah, girl, I know you wanna. She's a spice, ride pipe like bike, like Yokohama. She heard the ting been like banana. designer.